Bro, I want you to watch the entire video till the very end because I want to make your 2025 a very special year. I have a surprise for you at the end. Hello, bro. Welcome back to the channel. This is your coach Arunav, and it's almost the end of 2024. Now, I want to ask you one thing. How is your dating life right now? Are you living the dream dating life that you desire? Are you dating the kind of woman that you actually desire, or are you compromising on the quality? Or maybe you have no dates. So today I want to talk about how you can live your dream dating life in 2025. I'm going to tell you all the things that we work on with the clients. So you're going to get an insight into what we work on. Plus, if you work on those things, I'm 100% sure that you will be dating the kind of woman that you actually want without compromising on the quality of woman you're actually going out on dates with, without hitting the gym every day. It really does not matter wherever in the world you are, because if you work on the things that I mentioned today, I'm 100% sure that you'll be dating the kind of woman you want. So सबसे पहले बात करते हैं, what is the first thing that you need to work on? सबसे पहली चीज जिस पे आपको काम करना पड़ेगा is your personality. Now, personality is basically an amalgamation of your appearance plus your communication skills. तो सबसे पहले बात करते हैं कि how do we work on appearance? Now, in appearance, there are two elements. One is your fashion sense, the other is your grooming. तो जब भी हमारे पास क्लाइंट आता है, we work on his fashion sense the first thing. क्योंकि मैंने एक चीज़ नोटिस करी है, इंडिया में ज़्यादातर लोग अपने पेरेंट्स पे डिपेंड करते हैं अपने फैशन सेंस के लिए. they're dependent on their mom, they're dependent on their father for getting them clothes, और वो आदत बन जाती है. और उस आदत की वजह से not a lot of people have a good idea about fashion sense. So that is the first thing that we need to work on when a client is onboarded in our personalized coaching program. So how do we work on his fashion sense? We look at the client, we look at his body type, we look at his complexion, we look at his lifestyle, we look at the kind of job he's doing, because everything is relevant when we're trying to upgrade the wardrobe of that particular person. क्योंकि हम नहीं चाहते कि उसको कुछ ऐसे कपड़े पहनाए जाएं जो वो अपने रेगुलर लाइफ में नहीं पहन सकता. We don't want to make a software engineer look too funky like a rapper. We don't want a college kid to look like an entrepreneur. Basically, whatever stage you are in life, you should wear fashion according to that. और इसके लिए we have a fashion stylist on board. So me and the fashion stylist, we look at the client closely and we see किस तरीके के कपड़े उसको और attractive बनाएंगे. So I want to give you a small example with this. So if a person is onboarded and he's a little bit on the obese side, we decide the kind of fashion that does not make him look too big. We don't take body hugging shirts, we take shirts which are a regular fit, because the fit actually matters a lot. Rather than the brands, क्योंकि लोगों को लगता है कि अच्छा मेरे को अपना fashion sense upgrade करना है तो मेरे को 50,000 रुपए खर्चने पड़ेंगे और 15,000 रुपए खर्चने पड़ेंगे. That's not true. अगर आपको अपना fashion sense सही में upgrade करना है, you don't need to actually splurge a lot of money. But you need to have a good idea about the color palette. You need to have a good idea about, your jacket should match with your shoes, your belt should match with your shoes. Small details like this separate a normal person from a fashionable person. उसके बाद हम आते हैं grooming पे, because grooming is also very important, and your grooming is decided according to your face cut and according to your complexion. Now, based on that, we decide what kind of a hairstyle would suit you. For example, अगर आपके बाल curly हैं, we will not decide a hairstyle जहाँ पे आपके बाल straight लगे, because the curly look will actually mess it up sooner or later. So we have to decide according to your hair type as well. एक बार hair style decide हो जाए, the second part is actually deciding your facial hair. Facial hair is decided by your chin cut. So some people look good with beard and some people do not look good with beard. और वो डिसीजन रहता है ग्रूमिंग स्टाइलिस्ट का. सो ग्रूमिंग स्पेशलिस्ट इज ऑल्सो ऑन बोर्ड ऑफ द ब्रो थिंग. वी सिट डाउन टुगेदर एंड वी डिसाइड व्हाट काइंड ऑफ अ हेयर स्टाइल एंड व्हाट काइंड ऑफ अ बियर्ड स्टाइल वुड एक्चुअली सूट द गाय. बट ग्रूमिंग डज नॉट ओनली एंड देयर. ग्रूमिंग में और भी बहुत चीजें आती हैं, जैसे आपको एक अच्छा स्किन केयर रूटीन चाहिए, एक डे केयर रूटीन चाहिए और एक नाइट केयर रूटीन चाहिए, that we provide to our clients. Apart from that, you also need a good personal hygiene routine, because personal hygiene is very important when it comes to dating. Because when you're talking to a girl, especially in a bar or a club, you're very close to the girl. And when you're very close to the girl, she experiences you completely. So the first thing she experiences is how you look and how you smell. That is very important, guys. So we also provide our clients with a list of perfumes, colognes they can use according to their budget. And if you actually want to get a complete personality makeover, upgrade your fashion and your grooming, you don't need a lot of money. If you're resourceful, 5,000 रुपए में भी आप ये काम कर सकते हो. I want you to see how a little change in your fashion and grooming can actually change the way you look at yourself, the way people look at you.
मेरे ऑफिस से बोलने लगे, चल क्या रहा है तेरे लाइफ में, व्हाट आर यू डूइंग. मतलब बिल्कुल तुम्हारा क्लोथिंग का स्टाइल चेंज हो गया, तुम बात करने का तरीका थोड़ा सा चेंज हो गया.
अब आपका फैशन और ग्रूमिंग ऑन पॉइंट है. नेक्स्ट थिंग दैट यू नीड टू वर्क ऑन इज योर कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स. कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स में भी दो चीजें आ जाती है, वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन एंड नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन. किस तरीके से आप बात कर रहे हो, क्या बात कर रहे हो आप. एंड नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन, विच इज योर बॉडी लैंग्वेज, योर फेशियल एक्सप्रेशंस and how you're expressing yourself. So let's talk about verbal communication first. तो ज़्यादातर लोगों को प्रॉब्लम आती है कि how do I approach a random person, how do I start a conversation. So सबसे पहली चीज़ आपको ये सीखना पड़ेगा, how do you make anyone comfortable, how do you start small talks with people. But एक बार आप small talk से comfortable हो जाओगे, the next thing that you're going to face is how do I take this conversation From a small talk to actually a romantic direction where the girl is actually interested in me. किस तरीके से आप उसको अपना इंटेंट दिखाओगे कि आप रोमांटिकली उसमें इंटरेस्टेड हो और किस तरीके से आप उस कॉन्वर्जेशन को आगे एक इंस्टेंट डेट की तरह लीड करोगे. A lot of people have problems कि यार मैं तो फ्लर्ट ही नहीं कर पा रहा, मैं इसको आगे कैसे लेके जाऊंगा. So that also we fix by telling them, giving them different flirting techniques, whether it's push and pull, whether it's different kind of techniques. And apart from those techniques, we also teach them the right way of physically touching a girl so that it's reciprocated in a positive manner. Because ज़्यादातर लोग डरते हैं लड़की को छूने से क्योंकि they think that something wrong is going to happen, maybe the girl is going to get angry, and all of that is because they're not aware on how to read her body language. So that is very important and crucial if you actually want to get good at dating. You have to read the other person's body language because काफ़ी बार लड़कियां नहीं बताएंगी आपको how they're feeling when they're with you, but their body will tell you each and every small detail. Once you're able to read the girl's body language, आप इतने comfortable हो जाओगे कुछ भी बात करने के लिए because you'll know that how she's receiving it. You'll know exactly where she is at emotionally जब आप उससे बात कर रहे हो. I want you to observe it for yourself.
Just wanted to share this. I'm not very much interested in having sex with like multiple girls at a time, but I'm interested. What my goal of joining this course was to build a unshatterable confidence. Like that was shattered because of my this girl cheated on me, right? So that's what I'm trying to build, and I think I'm going on a good pace.
Now, most of the guys who don't know how to take it forward get stuck in the friend zone क्योंकि वो लड़कियों से बात तो कर लेते हैं but they're talking in a friend to friend manner. तो इसके बाद आपको मैन टू वुमन वाइब क्रिएट करनी पड़ेगी और मैन टू वुमन वाइब क्रिएट करने के लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन. किस तरीके से आपका आई कांटेक्ट है, किस तरीके से आपका फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन है, किस तरीके से आप उस लड़की को देख रहे हो और किस तरीके से आपकी टोनालिटी है, किस तरीके से आपकी डिलीवरी आ रही है. All of that is equally important if you don't want to land in the friend zone. So if you've been landing in the friend zone, you got to work on your tonality because once you work on your non-verbal communication, you'll be able to take it to a flirty and a romantic direction, being very subtle. Now you might be thinking, how do I work on my grooming? How do I work on my fashion and my communication skills all together? Don't worry because I got you covered. It's the end of the year and 2025, I have a promise. I want you to lead the dream dating life that you actually desire. And for that reason, I have an announcement to make. We have the biggest sale of the bro thing happening in 2025 for the first 5 days. So if you want to change your dating life in 2025, all you need to do is click the pinned comment, check out what we have in store for you. Now, once you've worked on your appearance, जिसमें fashion और grooming आ गया, then you work on your communication skills, जिसमें verbal और non-verbal communication आ गई, you're actually in a good position where you can start small talks and you can start talking and engaging with people. इसके बाद what is actually important is improving your social intelligence, which basically means जब आप बाहर जा रहे हो, social scenarios में हो, how do you understand the social dynamics and how do you respond to those social dynamics in a way where it actually leads to a date or where it leads to a romantic direction. When you're approaching girls, social intelligence तो important है ही है. But emotional intelligence is ज़्यादा important है because women are extremely emotional. Attraction for them is emotional. So emotional intelligence is very important because you need to know how she's feeling emotionally. You need to know how you can direct her emotions, how you can convert her emotions from one emotion to another emotion just by the power of your words. Now, the problem I see with most of the guys is when they're talking to a girl, they're very logical. वो लॉजिकली बात करते जाते हैं, they go into a question mode, into an interview mode, और वो एक के बाद एक क्वेश्चन पूछते रहते हैं होपिंग कि कॉन्वर्जेशन एक रोमांटिक डायरेक्शन में चले जाए, लड़की मुझ में इंटरेस्टेड हो जाए. बट दैट नेवर एक्चुअली हैपेंस बिकॉज फॉर वुमेन अट्रैक्शन वर्क्स इन अ कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट वे व्हाइल मेन आर मोर लॉजिकल. तो जब तुम लॉजिकली बात करते हो, यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट यू किलिंग दैट अट्रैक्शन. सो यू नीड टू ऑल्सो हैव दैट स्किल वेयर यू टॉकिंग अबाउट योर इमोशनल एक्सपीरियंसेस. सो यू कैन मेक एनी कॉन्वर्जेशन सुपर इमोशनल, but you also have to get the girl emotionally invested, and that is why you require emotional intelligence, because if you don't have emotional intelligence, you will not be able to get the girl emotionally invested. You will creep the girl out one way or the other. So now you have social intelligence, you have done a few approaches, आपको लोगों से बात करने का तरीका पता है, you know how to talk to people and make them feel comfortable because you also have emotional intelligence. Now what you need to learn is female psychology, and this is the biggest part of our coaching program because our Indian conditioning, जिस तरीके से हम बड़े हुए हैं, is completely against dating. तो उस वजह से we are not that comfortable with the opposite sex. So most Indian men are completely wrong about attraction because हमने attraction जहाँ से सीखी है, which is the Bollywood movies, actually does not work in real life. क्योंकि बचपन से ही dating has been looked down upon, specifically in India. That's what I see even in my social groups, even in smaller towns. और इसी वजह से most men have no idea what women actually respond to. There's one thing that women will tell you that they like, there's one thing that women will tell you that they want, but is a completely different thing what women actually respond to. And that is what you actually have to learn. Now you can learn it through our YouTube channel. We have tons of videos. You can join the coaching program. You can join the community, whatever sails your boat. Now that is the thing that you actually have to learn, which is have a good idea about female psychology, have good knowledge about female psychology, and that is exactly what we teach in our coaching program. So if you want to learn about female psychology from scratch, you can click the pinned comment. You can avail the New Year offer. Just make sure that you do it before 5th January, because on 5th January the offer shuts down, and this is the biggest offer that we've made in the brothing history, because today we complete 10 years. Now once you know about all of these things, जब आप बाहर जाते हो सबसे बड़ी आपको ये प्रॉब्लम आती है that even if you are aware about it, there's a lot of anxiety you deal with क्योंकि you don't know many people who are doing it, you have not seen it happening in front of you, and because of that there's a lot of negative thoughts that come into your head when you're actually going out and doing that approach. Now 90% of the people are not able to come over that limiting thought, but 10% are. So I hope you're in the 10%. If you're not, I would strongly suggest clicking the pinned comment. तो अब तुम्हारे पास ये सारे skills है. You have emotional intelligence, you have social intelligence, you also know about female psychology, you also know how to communicate, you also know about how to talk and how to take it forward. But जब तुम बाहर जाते हो, anxiety hits you because you've never done this before, and that actually stopped me personally from doing it for the first 3 months. I knew about this. I was still binge watching a lot of content before I actually did my first approach. So 99% लड़के तो ये कर ही नहीं पाते because once they go out and the anxiety hits them, they don't know how to actually go about this process. तो इस वजह से I teach my clients a very step-by-step process जहाँ पे हम उनको सीधे जाके ये नहीं बोलते कि जाके लड़कियों से बात करो, but we ease them in socializing. So if you have never done this before, I would recommend कि बाहर जाओ, 10 लोगों से टाइम पूछो, 10 लोगों को compliments दो, and then start talking to girls, because then it's going to be a lot more easier for you to actually open up and actually talk to girls. But बात करने के बाद भी you also need to go in for getting a number. What's your number? Just give your number and we'll catch up soon. जो मैं देखता हूँ is that people are going for Instagrams because it's easier. But easier is not always rewarding. Girls will give their Instagrams to anyone. If they don't want to talk to you, they just want you to leave, they'll give you the Instagram and they'll tell you, oh, nice to meet you, you know, we'll connect on Instagram. और इस वजह से क्या होता है कि आप ghost हो रहे हो, आपको एक one word replies आ रहे हैं, girls don't follow you back, and you're just thinking, maybe I will be able to set a date. That does not happen. So get the number, always go in for the number. And if you're not able to get the number, there's a problem in your initial approach. So initial approach अपनी और strong बनाओ, because you also need to understand कि number लेने से कुछ नहीं होगा. You need to get the girl excited to see you again. इसके बाद once you've gotten the girl's number, a lot of guys are like, oh, I won the game. I've gotten the girl's number. It does not happen like that. Getting the number is just 50% of the actual game, because you still need to text her, you still need to amp her emotions वापस से on text, you still need to get her on a call, build that comfort, build that relatability again so that you can get her out on a date. और 99% लड़के, क्योंकि मेरे को पता है, क्योंकि I also used to fail here a lot. When I was in Singapore, I used to get the numbers, but I was not able to set the dates. क्योंकि पता ही नहीं था टेक्स्ट किस तरीके से किया जाए. And for this reason, I've created a flirt framework, which is a 5-step framework which helps you set the date from getting the number within 3 days. Because if you take too much time, guys, it's never going to happen. The girl is going to lose interest. She's going to think that, oh, probably this guy does not desire me as much, and she's probably going to meet someone else. And at the same time, because you're texting her good morning, good night, you're following an inefficient dating process. तो inefficient dating process की वजह से काफी लोग थक जाते हैं. They're like, यार इसमें तो बहुत टाइम लग रहा है, dating requires a lot of time, it's a distraction, and then they start judging it. तो जब आपको एक लड़की का नंबर मिलता है, कोशिश करो कि 3 से 5 दिन में उसके साथ एक डेट सेट करो. Now, what happens, what I've seen with my clients is once they start going out on dates, they automatically boost their confidence. But initially when they're going out on dates and if they have no experience, what happens with them is they go out on dates, the girl loses interest real fast because उनको नहीं पता कि कैसे date में spark करी जाए conversation, कैसे date में attraction spark करी जाए, and how to touch the girl in the right way. And that is what you need to learn. You need to follow an escalation ladder. Escalation ladder का basic मतलब है you need to follow a sequence where you make the girl comfortable with you, and once you have gotten her comfortable, then you actually touch her in ways where she does not get uncomfortable, she does not get creeped out by your touches. Now when guys are generally going out on dates, they have a lot of doubts in their head. कहाँ पे लेके जाऊँ इसको date पे? How do I save money on the date? Are dates supposed to be this expensive? Because I remember one of my clients told me that he met this gold digger girl before joining my program, and he was like, one date was like 12,000 rupees. Does not happen like that. You need to be smart about it, because women are actually pretty smart about it these days. A lot of girls are using these online dating apps just to have free lunches and free dinners. So you need to have a screening process as well where you avoid all these girls. So once you start avoiding these girls, avoiding these gold diggers, these girls who actually just want you for free meals, and you start meeting the girls who have similar values and traits, that is when you actually start hanging out with girls who you might consider out of your league. So texting सीखने के बाद, make sure that you create an online dating profile as well. You need your online dating presence to be good, whether it's your Instagram, whether it's your online dating profile, because this is 2025 now, guys. We're talking about technology is at a whole new level. AI is messing up the place, And if you don't have an Instagram, the girls will not be able to verify you. A woman will not go out on a date with you if you do not have an Instagram in most cases. So all the clients that I work with are working professionals and entrepreneurs only. And because of that, they don't have that kind of a social media presence. At least 99% of the clients do not have a really good social media presence. And because of that, we paired them with the right photographer in their city so they can go out and get the photo shoot done. So now you have your photo shoot done, you've worked on your personality, you've worked on your intelligence, you've worked on approaching women, you worked on the closing part, and you're getting multiple dates. The next thing that you need to work on is how do you maintain that attraction levels? Because if you want to get into a long-term relationship, if you want to find a compatible partner in 2025, the most important segment is actually maintaining that attraction. Because if you are not able to maintain that attraction, which happens in 99.9% of the cases, at least initially when you're getting dates, those girls are not going to meet you again. Girls are not that forgiving these days, guys, because they're getting abundance from each and everywhere. उनकी Instagram profiles उनको 100 लड़के chase कर रहे हैं. They have online dating profiles that getting at least 1,000 matches a day. So girls have huge kind of abundance. So you need to have an unfair advantage over other men. And if you work on all of these things that I mentioned, you will have that unfair advantage over 99.9% of the other men because they are not aware about all of this. So as I promised you, I have a special surprise for you. I've created something which is called the Social Edge dating system that helps you improve your dating life, go out on 2 to 3 dates per week with women that you might consider out of your league just by investing 30 minutes every day. So if you want to join the Social Edge dating system at a very special price, all you need to do is click the pinned comment and check it out.